I'm itching for an Eden run, and we're gonna get a Brimstone start anyways, so it's fine. We get Magnet and Book of Shadows. Seed is G684-7LC3. After Eden, we can do one of the other new characters. We can do Eve next, I guess. Which I don't hate Eve. I think Eve's a great character. It's just in a challenge like this, that low HP start, that gamble, it's a little bit scary. The tiniest bit scary. We have a great active item, though, and we have a pretty good passive from Infestation 1. So I'm feeling pretty good about this run. Off the bat, we have a lot of utility. We can use Book of Shadows on Demon Beggars. We can use it on IV machines. We can use it on boss fights, in big rooms. We can use it to walk over spikes to get rewards that are hidden behind them. There's a lot we can use this for, so I think we're in a good place for the very beginning of the run. But obviously, it's a little too early to call any kind of victory. Okay. Almost the room where I wanted to pop it right away, but I will refrain from wasting my active on a normal room. I forgot about this, but I wanted to tell you guys about this weird, like, memory I had just jump back up in my mind from when I was like 4 years old. It's crazy. It wasn't repressed. It wasn't like a bad thought or anything. It was just, I was on a run and this popped into my head. And it took me back to like 2nd grade. There's this movie that came out when I was pretty young called Where the Wild Things Are, based off that children's book where this kid like goes to the land of monsters at night and parties with a bunch of monsters at night. You know, it's just crazy hijinks ensue. And the movie is a lot more like drab and scary than the book is because, you know, there's this real monsters moving around and there's, you know, more plot. I think the kid's book is just like a picture book, but the movie has like plot to it with what's going on. Now, I can't speak to the quality of the movie because it's been several years since I even thought about it, but from what I can remember, there's a scene in the movie where the main character goes to the monster world and it stays nighttime for like a super long time. And they start freaking out that the sun has been destroyed, or the sun was stolen, or the sun's dead, or whatever. And the kid's like, "No, the sun's it's just nighttime, you fucking idiot." And then the sun comes up. But as a kid, it put the thought in my mind that the sun was gonna die, and it would be nighttime forever. And I was panicking. I was like, "Oh my god, if the sun dies, like it's gonna get super cold on Earth." I asked my teacher, I was like, "If the sun dies, what happens?" And she was like, well, the sun will probably not die, but if it did, it would get really cold, and a lot of animals and plants would die. And I was like, animals? Humans are animals. And I was freaking out, like, I don't want the sun to die. If it dies, we're all going to die with it. Like, it's going to be all just shit. And that was my biggest fear for, like, 2 years of my life, is the sun's going to go away, and we're all going to perish in, like, a nuclear winter or some shit. And I thought it was like a legitimate possibility in my lifetime that I would see the... would that be classified as like the heat death of the universe? That'd be like a cold death. It'd be like the sun just leaves. When the sun dies, it's going to fucking explode. If the sun dies, it's going to be a big explosion of like solar flares hitting the earth and everybody just perishing forever, right? It's not going to be... let's follow you, I guess. It's not going to be some... cold, slowly depleting death. I wouldn't think, at least. Maybe it will be. I'm not a scientist. And eat the earth. Oh, that's pretty cool. I can get down with that. I mean, in a billion years, though, at what point will the sun get close enough to the earth where it will be uninhabitable? Will we still be living on the earth when the sun expands to be that far? I would assume we'd either be gone or already dead before the sun touches the earth or consumes the earth. Because, well... there's the whole gravity aspect of, like, if the larger an object becomes, the smaller the gravitational pull is. I haven't taken, like, physics in years. But I think, like, the bigger an object, the size changes the gravitational pull. I don't know if it's for worse or for better. But I think, like, smaller objects have greater pull. maybe bigger ones don't have smaller poles, just smaller ones have bigger, if that makes sense. It doesn't get like smaller as you grow, it gets bigger as you shrink. We couldn't stop the sun though. It might be like a boomer thought to have, but the sun is like it's like the all-consuming fucking star. You couldn't shoot a greater mass has more pull, okay. But a like greater mass in a smaller space has the most pull. The more dense it is, the more pull it has. Might be what I'm trying to think of. Yeah, okay. You see, I got my like 8th grade science in my brain still. But how could you stop the sun from expanding? Because anything you throw at it, it's just going to feed it to become bigger. Or it's going to add mass to the sun. Right? Like if you threw like a fucking ice bomb into the sun, it's not going to do shit. It's going to absorb the bomb. Yeah, it'll expand first and then collapse inwards on itself. But, oh, dude, a black hole would be kind of sick, though. I was going to do this, because, like, this room has 3 champions for whatever godforsaken reason. This just feels like the best way to get this done, to be honest. Goodbye. We have no way to get an extra charge off for the boss. We have High Priestess card. We'll be okay. I gotta kill these guys before I use the card, though, or the foot might target the small mulla booms over here, which would not be ideal. That's pretty cool. Does it have a name? Haha, get stomped on, you fucking idiot. We have 2 red hearts and 2 blue hearts, sure. God, I love Rebirth Devil Deals so much. So much. They're really cool and they're really awesome additions to the game that really benefited me a whole lot in this series so far. But anyways, the sun's gonna swallow up the earth eventually. We couldn't stop that. We could invent a shrink ray. But like I don't know. Things like that just feel so science fiction, you know, big on the fiction part that I wouldn't assume it'd be possible to stop the expanse of the sun. You could maybe like try to pull it away from the earth before it collapses. Like you could like maybe put like a piece of mass in space behind the sun and maybe it would like, I don't know, pull the sun in that direction. That probably makes like 0 sense. But oh, got the 6er there and nothing. Great. I don't know much about science. I'm a college dropout who plays video games for a living. A majority of those games being meant for ages like 5 to 12. So I don't know much about science, but we could survive without the sun. There was a Vsauce video on that. If everybody just went to hang out by like hot springs or like geothermal locations, we could survive without the sun. It would just be pretty damn cold. Eventually, though, like, things would get pretty shitty because there'd be no, like, wildlife surviving outside of where humans already are. Overpopulation becomes an even bigger issue because everyone's crammed into these tinier... What was that shot, dude? You know what? Come here. Flies don't kill him. Yeah! Get his ass. At least he's useful for something. Yeah, the famous E for Everyone game. Binding of Isaac. It's probably a pop this and just kind of go in kind of room. Otherwise, I'm going to get boxed in by some kind of enemy. You got to go first, though. You're the worst of them all. But losing the sun was always a big fear of mine. Alongside home intruders when I was younger, in the period of going from like 5th to 6th grade, I kept having nightmares about someone breaking into my house. So I was terrified of home intruders. One of my neighbor's houses got robbed when I was like 10. And I was like, oh, if they come back for more, we're next. When we totally would not have been next. We had like the ugliest house in the neighborhood. We weren't poor, but like we had the poorest house. Like, most of the houses around us were summer homes for like lakefront stuff. So we definitely had like the least attractive house in the neighborhood. So they weren't coming to us. They were gonna be coming to like, you know, our neighbor who had the big mansion, not this like shitty, you know, 2-story like poop brown colored home. That wouldn't really be an ideal target, though. I guess like this guy's a fool. Into the fire, yep, and back into the fire again. There's like a a whole study that most robberies happen during the daytime and not the night times. Maybe we would have been a victim because like maybe most robberies happen to houses that can't afford Ring door cameras or some shit, right? I was a daycare worker for a while, Blue, and kids ask some pretty crazy questions sometimes. My eyes are starting to hurt from those glasses. Sorry, the marks on my eyes right there. Kids ask some pretty crazy questions sometimes. It does take a lot to not be like taken aback when a kid asks something that like mature, like, oh, what happens in the heat death of the universe? What happens when the aliens, kill us all? It's a bit of like an interesting thing, but you gotta understand that they're still capable of complex thought. They just like can't really process it the same. Like they don't have an understanding, but they can still think in a complex way. I think the weirdest thing a kid probably, well, I don't know, because there's so many things, and I can't think back to like conversations me and the youngins had at like lunchtime or whatever. But there's some strange things, and they do dumb stuff too. Oh hey, look, another book. Wow. And they do dumb things too. What's the weirdest thing a kid's like? What's the most like nihilistic thing a kid has asked me? When I was a kid, I wasn't like nihilistic, but I think the darkest thing I ever did as a child was I had just gotten into like Sunday school. It was called REP from where I'm at, and it was done every Wednesday. It was Sunday school on Wednesdays after school. It was like a 2-hour thing where you'd go and you learn about Jesus or whatever. And they did a pretty good job because I thought that Jesus was really cool. I thought he was like a pretty sick dude. He probably was. If he was ever real, which I'm assuming that at least the human Jesus was a real person, pretty cool guy, helping people out. I thought he was so cool that I was like, I told my friend at recess, like, dude, we could just die if we wanted to go meet Jesus. And a teacher overheard it and was like, don't say that. And then that was the end of that thought line. But I was like, if I just want to go meet Jesus, I could just die. And I can go say hi to the man upstairs. I was thinking, like, if these guys love Jesus so much, why did they just go meet him? And the teacher was like, we're gonna shut that down right now. And I was like, oh, all right. Debbie Downer. No magic mush. You gotta, like, kids say stuff like that, but they never do something like that. They're more like, kids are like adult questions with no follow through. They'll wonder about these complex things, just for curiosity's sake, and they won't actually. Oh baby, yeah. The teacher, well, she should have told my parents. Would have been the right thing to do, but they didn't because I don't know, man. I think the lady that overheard it, her name was like Mrs. Powers, and she was not only was she a teacher at my normal school, but also was part of my like church congregation. So I think that she was just like, I don't want to get, a kid in trouble for asking questions about God, which is a terrible idea, because if a kid's saying stuff like that, you don't know what kids may or may not do. But it's a pretty good quote, yeah. I don't think I've ever had a kid talk to me like that before. In between my times like teaching assistant and daycare sitter and all that, I don't think a kid's ever said anything like that to me. But I could just be like not remembering because I've talked to hundreds of kids throughout that job period in my life. Because daycare centers kind of new kids every week, and older kids just stop coming after a while because they're, they get too old for daycare. They, don't have a good bus schedule from the daycare center to or from school, or parents can't pick them up anymore, or they can't afford, or whatever it may be. So I can't like think of specific things. I did body a kid in Mario Kart once, a little bit too hard. I probably ruined his enjoyment for the game, because the daycare place that I did work at was a place that I used to go to when I was young, and they had the same exact Nintendo Wii. Out of curiosity, one day I booted it up. See, I wonder what's on this Wii, like if it's the same one or a different one. I booted up Mario Kart on the Wii. Oh, hey, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And all of my old, like, so in Mario Kart, there's this thing called Ghost, where you can do a time trial, and it saves your time as, like, a ghost, like, and you can race against that ghost in the future. All of my old ghosts were there. All of my old ghosts from when I used to go to the daycare was there. Like, Koopa Cape had my me as the record holder. Grumble Volcano, same thing. And I, you know, it was the kids' nap time, and I was bored. I had nothing else to do because I had just finished cleaning up after lunch. So I started playing, and I beat my old ghost. I was pretty fucking good. I was winning online tournaments when I was like 8. I was better at that game when I was like 8 than I am now. So I used to be pretty damn good. I was getting bided by my own ghosts. And then I thought, oh, wait, ultra shortcuts exist now. I did the Grumble Volcano ultra shortcut on the rock next to the start and set a like a 30-second time on the course. And I told the kids there, if anybody ever beats my time on this course, I'll buy you guys all McDonald's for lunch one day. And those kids tried for like a week to get like less than 30 seconds. And they saw my ghost going on top of the rock, but I don't know if it processed for them why it was like that. Then one of the kids asked me like, hey, we should play Mario Kart. I was like, okay. And me and like 3 of the daycare kids were playing Mario Kart, and I fucking bodied all of them. One of the kids beat me in a race once, and it was pretty intense. Kid was pretty good. But I felt bad because like I lapped one of them at a certain, because kids don't know how to play Mario Kart, man. They don't know how to play Mario Kart. So I was just, you know, I felt bad, but I wasn't gonna like make myself worse. I wanted to also enjoy the game too, right? Does this count as like 50 damage if I charge up my beam all the way? Oh, isn't it in this game where if you pick up an item that cancels out chocolate milk, if you hold the charge button down before picking the item up, you'll retain the highest damage you can? I am Green Puff. Well, I used to be like that. When I was trying to teach Desi how to play Smash, because we were going to do like a couples thing on New Year's of like teams, Desi was like, don't let me win. And I said, okay. And I like JV 5'd her in Smash 4, and like JV, what's it called? In Smash 5, I JV, it's 3 stocks in Smash 5, so I JV 4'd her. And she was like, okay, let me win just once. So I would SD like 3 times, and I would still find a way to win, because I used to be pretty cracked at Smash. Also, what's up, Soy Milk Girl? I used to be pretty cracked at Smash. I'm going to get back into it once I move out back to Milwaukee. We're going to do some Smash streams with my friends that are like more on the pro side. Smash 4... Oh, no, sorry. Smash 4 used to be 2 stocks, right? Not 4. No, wasn't Smash 4 4 stocks? It's 2 stocks. Sorry, JV 3'd. My bad. Am I thinking of Melee or Brawl? I forgot. Thanks for the gift sub, Sam. Thank you. 93. 7 away from the big 1-0. Melee is 4. Okay, if you can't tell, I haven't played Smash in forever. But we'll be getting back into it. Maybe I'll learn Melee. That'd be a trip. Probably will not learn Melee. I don't really have a drive to learn Melee. Though it would be kind of fun to learn, like, get it taught to me on a stream. For content. Box. I want more pills. I don't want more pills. I do want this, though. Me too. Oh, we gotta do it. Hey, I should have charged up because that could have been Brimstone. Oh, cool. We're fighting Satan again, so we're gonna get our 5th Satan kill finally. Oh, I don't know. What do you want for a reward when you hit 100? I guess. I mean, it'd be wrong of me to deny you one. Depends what your price is. Maybe I can work something out. Yeah, that's how Merm is. Merm is a pretty good melee player and a really good ultimate player. JT is a good ultimate player and a really good melee player. And they've tried to teach me Melee in the past, but I have just not been receptive to it, I guess. I should learn, but there's just so much, and I feel like I'm not going to get much out of it. Like, I enjoy Ultimate as it is. Melee looks fun, but I can never, like, get good. It's been too long since I've, you know, thought about playing Melee. I think I'd rather learn Brawl. As stupid as that sounds, because Brawl is just funny to me. It could be, yeah, maybe, apparently not. That's kind of how I felt. I was the Project Plus friend for a while in Smash 4. Me and Aldog played P Plus on stream quite a bit, way back in the day. And we got pretty good. We played with like the mode that just makes your character fly like fucking Dragon Ball. That was pretty fun. And it's the same as me. Brawl was the first one that I played. The Wii was my first console. Well, first like legitimate console, so that's how I learned. I also had Smash 3DS before I had Smash 4, I think, because I didn't have a Wii U for a long time. Once I got a Wii U, though, I got Smash 4 right as the last DLC dropped, and then I never ended up buying the DLC. But I used Zach's SD card to get the characters for free. Don't tell Nintendo. Don't tell Reggie Fils-Aimé or Doug Bowser. I'll get fucking sued for saying that. Because his SD card was modded. And it gave me access to all the characters, which was really cool, because I got to play Roy, who I ended up maining in Ultimate for a while. I kind of want to play Smash now, but I have no one to play in person with, because online Smash sucks. But my first main in Ultimate was Dark Samus. Didn't really click with me, so I switched over to Roy. I played Roy for a long time. I played Roy for like 4 or 5 months, pretty much extensively. Then after Roy, who did I play after Roy? I was kind of in a character crisis then. So I waited. I played a bunch of characters like on and off for a while. I tried learning, I almost said Repentance. I tried learning Ultimate Mario. I tried learning Meta Knight. Didn't like Meta Knight that much. Oh, who are the DLC? I think I learned a DLC character. I'm gonna die on this run for sure, by the way. I don't have any way to like really gain HP besides maybe like a respawn item in this upcoming Devil deal. I just don't have any damage. But I'm still enjoying myself. Okay. Jesus Christ. Oh. That does save us. We have to be really careful, though. But this does kind of save us. Oh, I got you, Sam. You can wait till Repentance. I don't think I played Isabelle at all, though. Who else did I try? And there's so many characters. End of the story, I ended up playing Donkey Kong. He's my main now, and I would never have it any other way. I hate this room. The way these fuckers charge, like, without even being near them. Oh, we're dead. It's over. Before we even got our 5 Satan kills. It's so over. Oh, we were dead right there because he started charging up his shot. It's so over. We can live this room. Oh, God. Oh, pins are fine. Pins are fine. I'll bomb you guys for, I don't know, placenta. These are kind of like little pins. Okay. Oh, man. Death sentence. I had no right to live that room, by the way. Lumps almost did end the run. Oh, just get death, sir? I should have just thought of that earlier. You almost called that, and I would have been so mad if that worked. I guess we're going left. I'm upset. I'm upset. It's so good for us. That guy was bugging out, dude. Should not have popped that card, but I panicked. Fuck. I didn't get a charge? What? I forgot it worked this way. I would not have came in here had I known that. I would have died in real life if that was ultra greed. Yeah, that was a close call. I know what you're talking about. That was a very close call. Clip that. Clip that, clip that, clip that, clip that. Oh, we're fucked, dude. I'm slow as hell. The greatest item of all time. That didn't, it wasn't even on the screen. It wasn't even on the screen. Oh! Yo, motherfucker! It's not even, you can't see the legs. You can't see the legs. You just can't see the legs. They just calm down. The shadow appears when the legs are already on the ground. That final fight is its own clip altogether. Well, it's afterbirth time.